today we are going to make a melodic techno remix of a track that James Hype remixed the other week, Lady by Mojo. Why am I doing this? Well, one, because James's video inspired me, so full props to James. Two, because the video I released a few weeks ago about how to remix is the best performing video I've ever made. And three, I love the original and I just like making remixes. As usual, you can download the project file completely free below this video, and without further ado, let's hop into the door and get it done. Set timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes, counting down.
Okay, now the pressure's on. First thing we want to do is set the tempo. So I'm going to set it to 126 BPM. Then I'm going to bring in our magic vocal. Now, when you brought the vocal in, first thing you need to do is make sure it's synced up. Easiest way is to look up the track on Google, find out what tempo it is. But I'm going to do it manually using the metronome. And I'm just going to do it. Find the downbeat. So there we go, job done. Next thing we need is a big fat kick. What we're going to do is just go to my favorite pack. It really helps to have some favorite kicks. So I'm going to go for this Miss Monique kick and then just whack that on every beat. Pop it on. Done, job done. So we can see that's going to be the basis for our track. Now I've got my kick peaking at -12 dB, and that's to make sure that we don't run into any clipping issues on the master channel. Okay, next thing we want to do is save this. What are we going to call it? Lady, and it's that style, so let's call it Lady Monique. Yeah, why not? Whatever. Okay, next thing we need to do is get that magic clap on there. No, we'll get the reese bass first. The magic list always provides. Now I want to use just the plugins from within Ableton today, so I'm not going to use Zero. I'm just going to go over to the wavetable. First thing we want to do is get this reese bass written in. The way I'm going to do that is keep it labeled up nicely. And what key is this in? So we can do it by looking the key up, or we can just do it here by ear. Okay, we're hitting the A sharp. Oh, but the vocal sounds slightly out of tune. But only a tiny bit, so I'm going to have to tune these vocals. So let's warp them. Going to go to Complex Pro. We've got them warped at the correct tempo. So I'm just going to take down by a few cents. Now that sounds in tune to me. So let's draw this reese bass line in, and we're going to use this in the break. And we will be getting to the arrangement later. I think we're going to end on that note. And we're going to build up from the F sharp. Easiest thing to do at this point is choose the key that we're working in. If the root note is the A sharp, the chances are it's going to be A sharp minor, because like 95% of dance music tracks are in a minor key. So let's just do that. And then we can hit scale mode, and none of the hits we note will be wrong. So we're just going to have that slight ascension. Hear me tonight, 'cause my feeling is just so right. Let's make this into a reese bass. So we're going to get a saw wave. And then we are going to add some unison, which is really going to add some depth and thickness to this sound. Firstly, let's make it nice and sustained. Make it mono, because it's going to be a bass line. We don't want the bass notes bleeding into each other. So there's our nice bass. Let's put it down an octave. So this is going to be our break. Set some reverb. Yes! Instant yes. Okay, but we need to make the rest of this track. So next we have the drums. So let's go and create the drop section, and then we're going to bleed them into each other, or transition them more likely. Bleeding's a bit dark, isn't it? So let's just go over, copy this over to here. And we're not going to have the reese bass in the drop, because Melodic Techno has got usually a rolling 16th bass. So if we want to go for that kind of rolling techno Miss Monique sound, we're going to have a main bass and a rolling 16th bass. And we're going to have a few other little tips and tricks as well in terms of basses. But let's get the main stuff in first. Let's just call this Reese, like from Terminator 2. And then we're going to go main bass. And I want to get just a groove going with this. I think I will have a fairly basic sound. We don't want to overcomplicate the sub bass, because it's going to make having all the interplaying synths that go into melodic techno really difficult to make work. So again, let's hit scale. we're just going to hold the root note. And what we want to do is make sure that this is going to groove with our bass line and with our kick. And you can draw in the bass notes a couple of octaves up. It's easier to hear which pitch it's hitting. So I'm just using the 16th grid at the moment. And adding some syncopation there. Let's go a bit exuberant actually. We'll do a little run up to that C sharp. And this is going to be in tune with the vocals as well. Now let's bring it down a couple of octaves. As low as it can go, really, and still be audible. No, one below. There we go. So now let's tighten this bass up. Switch it to mono. Make it nice and tight. Okay, not very inspiring at the moment, but bear with me because we're going to get this 16th bass over the top. So this is really just dealing with our sub bass. So our low frequencies. To the degree that we could even put an EQ on there and just take out some of that high-end click, like so. Nice. Next thing we want to do is get a compressor on there. I've just realized I'm not going to be able to do this in 20 minutes. I might extend it actually. Forget what I said earlier. Unless I can. No, I can't. It's impossible, Will. No one can do that. You're insane. Right, let's have it bouncing. So we can hear that clicking. Let's put it before the EQ. So what I'm doing is just bouncing it from this sidechain trigger track, which has got a silent sound that we never hear. So it's a short, sharp rim shot. And it's triggering that compressor, so it's going to play with the kick. Like, it's not going to kind of fight with the kick. Okay, next thing we need to do is get that 16th bass in there. So once again, I'm going to use one of these wavetables. And we're going to go for a saw wave again. Just make it short and plucky. Again, let's take off some, make it monophonic. So we don't have lots of notes bleeding into each other. And then just program it on the root note. Once again, keeping it nice and simple. I think that might be a bit short and plucky actually, even for my taste. And we need a saw wave. And what I'm going to do is every 16th, I'm going to have a note playing, except in between each note, I'm going to jump up an octave, and that's just going to add more movement to this mid bass. So instead of this, we're going, like that's very popular in trance music as well, that kind of progression. And let's go up to that C sharp to follow the main bass. So we just put that up to the C, like so, or rather the C sharp, which is the third interval of this scale. Cool. In fact, I might have one of those on an octave below as well. This is a bit crazy. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. That would have to go up to the C sharp. Might be a bit too low. It's fine as long as we then add a sidechain compressor to duck that so it doesn't fight with the kick. And then let's take the filter down. Add some envelope. So we've got that kind of plucky sound. Then we're going to add some unison. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Let's take out the low end so it doesn't fight with our sub bass. This is just the mid bass, because that sub bass is bringing all that low end power. Next thing I want to do is just add a little bit more movement to this. So I'm going to throw on a phaser and a flanger onto the mid bass. Nice. Add some warmth. And I think we need to add a little bit of warmth to that sub bass. So I'll throw on a drum bus. Cool. Okay, next thing we need to do is add some drums to this bad boy. So I don't actually know which drums I'm going to select. So let's just go and get some suitable melodic techno drums. So let's go drum hits. We need something short and sharp. That'll do. First one we find. We can shape the ADSR, which is going to be really important for this genre as well. Let's do a time check. 11 minutes already. Get out, son. You're not doing this in 20 minutes. Right. Okay, every 16th, once again, we've got the sidechain compressor, which is going to bounce that slightly. So it's going to sound like this. Amazing. Well done, Will. Top work, mate. And then let's add that bounce. Okay, that's pretty cool, actually. I'm not sure how many other layers we need. Let's just add like a shaker loop to add a bit more depth. I'm just going to go shaker. And go splice. I've got some nice ones from splice at some point. Oh, you have to... Okay, that'll do because we don't have much time. Just make it work. Make it work, baby. Add some room reverb on the auxiliary channel. Nice. Okay, what's next on the magic list? We need an open hat. So let's just go for a standard open hat, like 909. Really pays to have some favorites because it just makes working quickly. Let's go for an open hat. And we're going to keep this quite quiet and short as well. So we can adjust the ADSR on this hat just to tighten it up a bit. Let's do that. So it's almost like a closed hat. Subtle. Okay, cool. Next thing we have is the main bass, the 16th bass. Lovely, lovely. Ah, the sync riff as well. We're going to tie these two sections together with the sync riff. So first let's color this purple, the natural color of a throat, like so. And shakers green, the natural color of drums. Drums, because drums originated from hitting sticks, sticks have green stuff on them, hence the green. Okay. What were we doing? Synco riff. That's right. So we need to get a synchronated beat with this synth just to stop it sounding too like robotic on the grid. We've got a bit of syncopation in the vocals. Do 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 by your eyes. So we need to have something that's going to carry on that syncopation when the vocals aren't playing. So let's go to wavetable again just for the speed of things. Go up, select some kind of square wave. And then what we can do is if we got our grid set to 16th, again, we're just going to stay on the root note, and I'm going to just skip 2/16 each time like that. And once you've done that a couple of times, you can just select 3/16 in a row and just hold duplicate. And now we're going to get a cool syncopated riff. Cool, so now let's make that not sound completely rubbish. The way we do that is by making it into a chord, probably a minor chord, by skipping a note each time in scale mode. Actually, we could do it as a 7th, and then I'm just going to invert these by copying them down an octave. So let's get this grooving. We're going to add a second envelope and apply this to the filter envelope to make it kind of go wow, 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 like so. And let's just tweak the ADSR. Now let's add some unison. Got to add some unison. Add a cheeky little sidechain compressor to make it dance with the rhythm. And I'm going to add some reverb on the channel itself so we can kind of wash it out a bit later, a bit. You'll see what we use this for soon. But we'll get back to that. Okay, next thing we want to do is, I think, arrange this. We're going to add some more stuff on the drop as well. Ooh, yes, arranging this is going to be good because then I can show you how to add some AI vocals as well, which will really set this thing off. Okay, so let's start from the break section. Let's turn off the kicks. We'll just bring the drums there. We need some claps, actually. We'll add some claps too before we do that. We need some claps happening. Okay, for claps, I'm just going to go to drum hits. Claps. I like these ones, actually. Let's go for some. That's cool. Let's use that. And we're just going to shorten it down a bit as well. So I'm going to switch to one-shot mode. If I'm working a bit quickly for you, just feel free to rewatch. Take as much time as you need. But what I'm doing now is just tweaking the length of this clap to make it really short and snappy. The length of the drum is really important. So it's just tightening this up a bit. Add a little bit of room reverb to gel it all together. Cool. Okay, next thing we need to do is work on that break. So I'm going to bring this over here. We'll start with some drums and a shaker and turn that reese bass down. Now for the reese bass, I want to add some reverb to make it sound more epic, but I need to make sure I've taken up the low end on the reverb channel so we don't end up with like a really washed out low end. And now with the vocals, let's hear how those chords work.
Dance, baby, hear me tonight, 'cause my feeling is just so right as we dance by the moonlight. Can't you see?
We could actually put that one down because that would be even badder. Dum, bum, dum, dum.
Can't you see? You're my
Yes,
delight.
yes, I'm loving that.
Lady, I just feel like
Right, this is going to be the build, but I want to add something a bit special in this build, which is going to be a combination of AI and just some awesomeness, basically. So first, let's get this syncopated synth over here. I'm not sure the 7th actually works. It's too... Yeah, it's, you know, if we're making melodic techno, we don't want anything too, like, you know, happy. We want a slightly dark feel to it. I'll move that C sharp at the end.
It's just so right as we dance by the moonlight. Can't you see? You're my delight. Lady, I just feel like I won't get you out of my mind. I feel love for the...
So what we can do with this syncopation is make it syncopate for twice as long. So instead of resetting it there, we can keep that same skipping 2/16 each time like this. And it's going to take longer to kind of catch up with itself. Like that.
And I know that it's true. I can tell by the look in in your eyes.
Oh, and this is where the big build will be. Okay, so let's work on that. First, let's just tweak where this synth is sitting. I think it needs to be lower down, almost like a bass. So let's just take that down an octave. Maybe a saw wave. Yeah, that sounds a bit better. Let's make that kind of... Yes, that sounds good. Ah, that's better. Okay, so now what we're going to do is... Whoops. Forget that. This isn't 20 minutes. This is 20 minutes, but in wheel time, okay? That sounds better. I know you want me to see this, finish this. That's when we need the melodic techno riff to come in. So let's call that melodic techno riff. Boom. And then we're going to get another wavetable, and we're just going to go with, you guessed it, a saw wave. And quite often in these kinds of music, the sounds start with a saw wave and you don't have to do that much to it. So let's call that melodic riff. And we're in the right scale. And I'm just trying to think of something that's going to be a moment in the track, you know, when we get to this. We've got the emotional bit, and then we want it to be like getting ready for the build. So let's try.
You're my delight.
Oof, that's loud. That's not a moment, that's a travesty. Oh, I've got a brilliant idea. Sometimes I have to say when I have a brilliant idea because it's very easy to miss unless it's pointed out. Okay, so this is the riff that we're going to start off with, which doesn't sound that exciting, and that's fine, but let's just kind of shape it slightly. Let's have it monophonic, actually, polyphonic. So they kind of, let's make it a bit pluckier. That's it. That's a bit more melodic techno. So we want it kind of plucky like that. Lots of reverb. But what I want to do is this. I'm going to create an audio channel. I'm going to go resample. And that's going to resample the master channel, I hope. And then what I'm going to do is just play that and hit record. Okay, and what this is going to do is be a bit like that We Come One track by Faithless. So let's just call that melodic reverse and check this out. So this is going to be our riff. It's going to be a call and response. So it's kind of reversing back into the loop. So we've got this effect. Just think of the like this is a moment in the club, okay? Let's extend that decay of the reverb. And then let's kind of increase the intensity of that by making it a bit more frequent. Da-dum. I'm just making this up as I go along, but let's have a listen to this full riff now. Just imagine the build now. That's a bit cheesy. I think we need to repeat that. So that's last bit of it's repeating. And we can just have it like, we'll have the reverse in there as well. It might be a bit too much, but let's just see what happens. All about experimentation, eh? Speaking of which, experiment with hitting like and subscribe if you're enjoying this. And give me a hell yeah or an amen, brother. If you're feeling holy.
I won't get you out of my mind. I feel love for the first time, and I know that it's true. I can tell by the look in your eyes.
And then this bit is when we're going to have the AI vocals. See, I get too excited now. And then we're going to create a really cool riser with some of these effects that we already have. So I'm going to use 11 Labs, I think it's called. Where is it? There we go. And I have got a link to this below. So if you want to help support the channel, you can use this. I can tell by the look in your eyes. And I've just got Sarah to say this. All right. So
I can tell that it's true. I can tell by the look in your eyes.
Oh, Sarah, really? So let's get Sarah in there, in the track, you understand. And let's just pull her in, hit Complex Pro. And we want this to have like an anima type vocal effect. So we're going from the bloke's vocals to Sarah's vocals. And there's something I want to do with this as well. First, let's get it timed how I want.
I can tell that it's true.
I want to extend it so it's a bit like in The Matrix when Neo gets all that quicksilver in his throat.
I can tell that it's true. I can tell by the...
So let's like stretch this out. And then, oh, yes. We're going to have a false drop. Classic, classic. So let's pull this out a bit, like so.
I can tell by the look in your eye. I can
So I want that kind of time stretch
tell by
effect.
the look in your eyes.
Cool. Good work, Sarah. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because on the drop, we're going to have like an interesting incidental bass. And this could be a bit James hypey as well. You know, you could have this in a tech house track too. But let's just have it in a melodic techno track because why not, eh? So what we're going to do is get wavetable, obviously. Choose a square wave this time. Full sustain, no release, mono, quick attack, loads of detune. And what have I done? Changed it to mono? Crazy boy. Oh no, I already did that, didn't I? Okay, so now let's make it nice and detuned. And we're just going to create a little false drop moment. So imagine the build up.
I can tell that it's true. I can tell by the look in your eyes.
Let's have it twice as long, the false drop. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit confusing to people. So by false drop, I mean people expect the drop to come in and we're just like playing with our anticipation there. We'll have to turn this down a bit. And I'm just running down the scale until it resolves back to the root note of the track, which is the A sharp. So that wants to resolve to the A sharp. So that's what we're going to go for, that kind of effect. But we're going to make it even bigger by adding like a brassy synth on the drop. But first we need to make sure it sounds good. So let's get that build up happening.
Hear me tonight, 'cause my feeling is just so right as we dance by the moonlight. Can't you see? You're my delight. Lady, I just feel like I won't get you out of my mind. I feel love for the first time, and I know that it's true. I can can tell by the look in your eyes.
Yes, okay. First I'm going to create a reese bass drop kind of build, because we're using the same sounds that we created the rest of the track in, and this gives it like a real timbrel cohesion, as I like to call it. So we'll start on the root note. Rises will usually go from the root note of the track up to the root note of the track. So let's go to our wavetable for our reese bass. I've just given up on the 20 minutes thing, so I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so we're going to set the pitch range up to, I'd say 24, which is 2 octaves. But if we put the pitch bend in and program it in an envelope like that, wavetable, then we're going to go for pitch wheel. Easiest thing to do there is go MIDI control pitch bend. So we're going to start down here, which means we're going to have to put our note up because we've basically dropped it 2 octaves, which is going to sound weird.
I can tell that it's true.
But we want it to be at the maximum just when she starts saying her thing. So let's say it has to go up to that point. We'll just make it that long. So we're going to make that go up to there by that stage, and it's going to sound like this.
That is true, I can tell by the look in your eyes.
But we want this to be quiet. It's subtle.
I can tell that it's true. I can tell.
So then I'm just going to automate that that utility to come on at that point.
That is true, I can tell by the look in your eyes.
I can tell that it's true. I can tell by the look. I can
Let's add
tell
some
that it's
reverb.
true. I can tell by the look in your eyes.
That is a bit more,
I can tell that.
bit harsh. Yeah, that's supposed to be an octave down. Let's take out the low end so it doesn't fight with the bass. Okay, so what we need to do is add the drop sound that's going to make this absolutely massive, and then we're going to use the vocals to create a riser as well. So don't forget, you can download this project if you want using the link below this video, and let's get this cooking. So we've got, what did I say we needed to do now? That's right, the drop brass sound. So again, we're going to start with a wavetable on saw wave. I should have made a video that says how to make a track just using a saw wave, and that's pretty much this. So we're going to keep it, the amplitude nice and sustained, maybe a little bit of attack. I'm thinking of like a warm, like Hans Zimmer type horn. So we go to envelope 2, and this is where the brass is kind of going to go wow. So we need to shape the envelope so it looks like it's going to kind of go wow, like so. Then we're going to go to matrix, envelope, take that frequency down, and then just, you guessed it, hit that root note. So that's the A sharp. So we can have a nice big horn blast, which would be a saw wave, and it's going to sound like this at the moment. That's not working. Why is that not working? We need matrix. That's the wrong parameter, that's right. We need it to be affecting the filter, like that. So we got that kind of brassy sound. Going to add some release on that so it dies out. And we might actually pop it an octave below, but we need to add some unison. Let's see if it works an octave below. Might be too much. That sounds pretty cool, actually. We might have a second oscillator that's an octave below, just to really beefy this up. Let's take it down -12, and now we've got this effect. Last thing we need to do, add some reverb on there, as long as the reverb is being filtered out. Oh, nice. And let's take out the low end because we don't want it fighting with our main bass. And that's all we need once the kick's playing to make it sound epic. I'm going to leave that until we get David Brent. What I'm going to do is first work on this repeating vocal. The reese bass has kind of not been reset with the pitch bend, so it sounds a bit weird. That's the annoying thing with Ableton. Sometimes you have to kind of manually reset the pitch. It's like, why do you need to do that?
Lady, hear me tonight, 'cause my feeling is just so right as we dance by the moonlight. Can't you see you're my delight? Lady, I just feel like I won't get you out of my mind. I feel love for the first time, and I know that it's true. I can tell by the look in your eyes.
So now I'm just going to repeat this, the I bit. And we're going to turn that into a riser. And the way that we're going to do that is wing it.
I can tell.
Now, the easiest way to do this is to use a third-party plugin like, what's it called, Little Alter Boy. But a way that you can get around that is to just use a sampler from Ableton. I'm going to just consolidate that little clip and then throw that in there, like so. And then that's all I'm going to use. So now we've got this sampler with that loop put in there. So let's hit the right note. Now, the reason that the A sharp isn't sounding the same as that A sharp is because this has been sampled at A sharp. So we need to make sure that it goes into that we tweak the root note of our sampler accordingly. But it's an octave down, so let's just stick it up. So I'm just going to stretch that out and then choose loop on this. And then you can do some really cool stuff. Like we can have it looped. We can have it looped like back and forth. And the reason I want to do this is because if we set our pitch bend range to like 12 semitones, that's an entire octave. So then we can do exactly what we did with the reese bass. Like so. And then if we just turn it down a bit and whack a reverb on to throw it back in the mix a little bit, you've got this really nice riser that's created from the core sounds in your track. So then we've got this effect. Shush, I know it's been 40 minutes. 20, 40, who's counting?
By the look in your eyes.
In fact, let's extend that out to there. Make sure that our pitch bend is running up until the end of that rise. So let's just, same as the reese bass, but I want these first notes to be the actual note that he's singing to give it that kind of looped effect.
Look in your eyes.
And only then do I want you to hear it kind of rise. So it's like going.
I can tell that it's true. I
There
can
you
tell
go.
by the look in your eyes.
Now it's just a case of mixing that so the levels are like right and epic.
I can
So-
tell by the look in your eyes.
So there you have a like a white noise going as well. And then we can bring in the melodic riff if we want. I probably wouldn't have it on the drop. I'd have that come in a bit later. So we got something to work into. So for example, we have our white noise happening.
I can tell that it's true. I can tell by the look in your eyes.
This is white noise right here. And then we have a ride cymbal. See, I am composing just, and then we can have the incidental bass come in, but it's going to be half as long because I'm just going to play with people's expectations. I wonder how can I like half the length of this? I think you can now. I just haven't done it before. Boom, it's done. And then we've got that kind of effect for a little break. And then at this point, we're going to bring back in our melodic riff. We're bringing the whole one, I think, like so. We can bring back the vocals as well, can't we? Let's do that. So now we've got this kind of effect. Although I kind of like just leaving the vocals for the break, so you don't overdo it. So then we got this. And then we're about to come back in. Let's try the vocals. Might be too much with the riff. And then you can go to the break wherever it is. So now I'm just like riffing what the thing might be. I'm just playing now.
It's true, I can tell by the look in your eyes.
Oh, the synth needs to go up as well.
I can tell that it's true. I can tell by the look in your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it needs more stuff, right? I'm pretty pleased with that. In fact, I'll do a bit more work on it, and then this is the final result. 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Lady, hear me tonight, 'cause my feeling is just so right as we dance by the moonlight. Can't you see?
I love the fact that it just stays on one note whilst the bass changes. I love that.
I won't get you out of my mind.
Now he gets the build.
I can tell by the look in your eyes.
Just imagine like I'm a massive CGI alien from like cybernetic future.
I can tell by the look in your eyes.
Hard to imagine, I know, but one day. One day. Nice. Love that brass sound. You can hear I'm like toying with the vocals whilst everything else is just still playing. Remember, you can download this adjusted version below this video. If you want proper production coaching, get your music to a professional level, you can check out our Accelerator program, where our students are getting signed to some of the world's biggest labels. And if you like this, you can check out this video popping up here, which is going to show you more remix techniques. And that was the one that's the best performing video I've done, so I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you over there.